Hello again, this is the course of computer programming, and in this chapter I'm going to discuss a new topic which is related to object-oriented programming. Yeah, usually we will learn this stuff in one semester, but yeah, for our course I try to make it very compact, okay, in 1 or 2 weeks. I hope that you can understand the basic idea of this object-oriented programming, and please try to do the practice that I gave to you. And for this chapter, I hope that you can listen carefully about the idea of object-oriented. So first, let's figure out the agenda. So I will discuss about the object. What is object? So we will learn about classes and fields, and we will learn about the object behavior methods, and we will learn about the constructor in the object. So first, let's learn about the objects and what is classes and what is fields. Let's see, this is an example. Okay, when you have your problem, you need to figure out something related with this problem and how can you make the program. Let's see. Now I have a file of cities. Okay, so let's see. This is cities. Okay, and this city is located in the x and y coordinate. In the globe we have the longitude and latitude. Okay, but for this example, I just used x and y. And let's suppose I put 6. So 6 means I want to input 6 cities. And the first city will have the plot 5, 2. So it means 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 for the y. 3, 5. So it means 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 5. Okay, this one. And then 4.4, this one. And then 1.2, 1.2, this one. And 7.5 is this one. And 0.0, 3.0, this one. And then I will ask, what is the center? 2.2. Okay, let's see. This is the center. And yeah, in the previous example, we already learned how to calculate the distance. Okay, so using the method and using the multi-dimensional array, we can try to calculate distance. And using this problem, how can you think about the structure in your programming? Because the task is to write a program to calculate the distance between the point and the center. Okay, so let's see. You may have the idea about the array. Okay, what is the array? So the array that you already learned is something related with the place storage for any data. For example, if you want to store the integer, in this case, I have the 5, 2. Okay, so 5 means the x and 2 means the y, and this is for the point number 1. What about the second? The second, yeah, we have also the same number. Okay, we have 3 for x and 5 for y. For the point number 3, we have 4 for the x and for the y, so and so on. Then we can see this one. Yeah, this row has a value of integer. And what about y? We have also another value of integer. So we can just say that this is a bad solution. So I will let you know later why it is bad, but you can do with the scanner and then you will have the city count. Yeah, in the previous example we have the city count. Here I want to insert 6. So yeah, I just want to get the input, and then I have the x coordinate, and then I have the y coordinate. Can you understand? In this case, I make x this one and then y. And for every element, I will input it into the array. Okay. So we have the number or the size of the x coordinate as the city count, and the size of the y coordinate also as the city count. Then you have two arrays, and for every x and for every y, you will read this one. You will read this one. So do you agree with me about this code? Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is possible to use this one. So we have the parallel arrays. What is parallel array? These two are the parallel arrays. So we can say like the 2 plus arrays. So it means you can have two. Okay, if you have two columns like this one, yeah, you have two. But what about if you have three columns? Then you will have three variables of array. Okay, what about if you have four columns? Then you will have four variables of array. And all the data, so all the data with related data at the same indexes. How about if you have 10 columns? Then you will have 10 variables of array. Okay, so it is, yeah, I can say it is a poor style, because whenever the columns increase, you need to have a new variable. Okay. Then if you observe this problem, it will be easier if there were such a thing of point object. Okay, what is the object here? So for example, I have a point. Okay, I have point, and it will store the x and y of the data. And then I would like to compare the distance between points. And for every point will have its own property. So the proper program will be shorter and cleaner. So yeah, that's the idea of the object. So we will see one of the possible to make an object is to create what we call as the point. We say this is the point.java. So it is a class. As you know that whenever you make a Java class, you need to define the Java file name the same as the Java class. So in this case, I need to make a point.java, and this is one of the class. And you already know that for every program, okay, you need to have at least one main method. Okay. For this, I can say that we have two Java file. The first Java file is point.main.java. So it is the client program. What is client program? So the client program is a program that uses objects. So whenever we want to make an object, if we want to make an object point, okay, it means it refers to the point.java. So if you still remember scanner, okay, whenever you use the scanner, so it is a actually it is a class. Okay, it is a class, and you will access the class to create a new object. This is the same. I have a point.java, and you want to access this Java file in order to create two numbers, 7 and 5. So if I create 7 and 5, then it means this is the first object. If I create 1, 2, then it means this is the second object, and so on. So at least now you will learn that there will be two classes, point.main.java as the client program, and point.java as the class or the object that we want to create for this point. So class is a program that represents either a program or module or a template. Okay. So you know that whenever we make a new class, a new Java class, you always put main method. Okay. The main method here, the main method will be the file to execute your program. But in your point, the Java, there will be no main method. So we can see that the class is a program because it contains a main method, but it can be also a template for a new type of objects. So if it is a new template for a new type of object, then it will not need main method. So the point class is a template for creating point objects. What is object? So object is an entity that combines the state and behavior. Okay, so the idea is state and behavior. That's why we call it, this is the object-oriented programming. So like this, when you do with OOP, object-oriented programming, it is a programs that perform their behavior as interaction between objects. One is this one. Maybe you cannot imagine. So let's see. In this case, I want to implement a point class. Okay, so I want to make a point class so that the point class will create this one. We have X, we have Y, and I can say this is the object number 1. This is the object number 2. Okay, and this is the object number 3. Okay, if we have this object, then you need to understand for every line, okay, for this one, it is one point or one object. Okay, and for every object, you have two, X and Y. So we call this is the fields. Okay, fields. So we call this is fields. And if you want to add something, or if you want to delete something, or if you want to modify something, let's say I want to add the number 5. I want to add the number 2 in the variable Y. I want to put the number 5 into the variable X. Then, yeah, you can say I need the methods. Okay, I need methods. Or we can, yeah, in some of the book they mention as behavior. So the client programs will use the point object. Okay. So we will use the point class in order to access those items. So this is one of the example. I can say this is class diagram. So the class diagram is a kind of box like this one. And then I want to know that the first part here is the class name. And then the second part here is the fields or data members. So you can see here X and Y. And then we have the X is integer. Yeah, we know because it is a number. And Y also integer because it's also a number. And the methods inside of this class, there will be 3. So yeah, at this moment, let's say just I have 3 methods. Set location. So I want to set the data. Let's say X, comma, Y. And this is a method of void. Okay, you know, method, you know that we have void, or if it is void, then it is a method with no return value. Okay, we have another method which is translate, and then yeah, I have integer tx. Oh, what is it? So it means it is a new variable which is not the same with the field. This is not the same with the data members. So if you have this one X, then you have X this one. If you have Y, then you have Y here. So when you have another values, you need to define like this one, integer dx. So it is a new parameter. So it's not related with the X in this data member. It is also now new data, which is dy, and the dy is in the integer. Again, void. Okay, void is a method that you will do something without returning any value. And you will have a distance. Okay, the distance, what is distance? I want to have point. Oh, what is point? So point refers to the point class. So I want to calculate the current point with another point. Okay, So it is also a void, so it means it is a method without written value. Okay, so this is a class diagram, and when you do with this point, let's see. Okay, I have one object, and instead of using the array, the parallel arrays, okay, we used the parallel arrays before. One variable is an array and the other variable is another array to indicate x and y. Now I just use this one point. Okay, I would like to call the point class. This is the point class, and then I just declare any name. Okay, so let's say it is the city1, and the city1 I put name as p1, and then for the p1 I would like to put the x and y as 5 minus 2. Then yeah, this will be the x and this will be the y. If you want to put blank, then it means it is the origin, like 0, 0. How can you make this one? Yeah, later we will learn about how to make this kind of point. But the first time, yeah, you know that in one class diagram like this one, it contains the point. Point means the class name, and then x is the point of the x coordinate and y is the y coordinate, and then we have the set location, we have translate, and then we have distance. Okay, yeah, this is what we already learned before. So remember that this is the data members and this is the method. The point, it can be a blueprint. Okay, what is blueprint? It means if you have several points, you need to have at least one class, and this class will be the blueprint, or every time you want to create a new point, you will use this class. So the field contains of x and y. Okay, so this is the member, and the behavior contains 3: set location, translate, and distance. So whenever you have a new object, like say I have the object number 1, then you will have the x, for example, okay, 5 and minus 2. What about the other behaviors? Yeah, they can access all these behaviors. Field. But the object number 2, it is x with minus 2, 4, 5, and y is 1, 8, 7, 9, 7. What about the behavior? Yeah, they are all accessible from the object number 2. What about object number 3? Let's say I have the x equals to 18 and y equals to 42. So they are the same. Then I can say that for every point that you created, only the data members are different. Okay, only the x and y are different, but all the behaviors are the same, and all the point object 1, object 2, object 3, they can access all the behavior. Okay, so in this case, maybe you can note that yeah, I'm using plus. Okay, I'm using plus, so later we will check more about this plus. Okay, so I'm using plus for all, so it means all the things are accessible. So the class blueprint describes how to create objects, and each object contains its own data and methods. So each object contains of its own data and the method. Okay. Now we will learn about the fields. At least we will learn the very basic one. Now we will learn about the version 1 of the point class. We have x, we have y. So let's put it into your file. I guess I have this file. Let's see. I gave you the file here. Okay, and then let's put the section 08. Let's make another section 08. Okay, so I'm making a package section 08. And then let's copy and paste here. Oops, something wrong. Oh, okay. Don't mind with the errors. Okay, I will explain how to handle those errors. But now let's do one by one. Let's go to the point.java. Okay, in this point.java, you have the integer x and integer y. What are they? So they are the first data members. They are fields. And I would like to put the above codes. Okay, so at the point you have to, this is integer name x, and then the other integer name y. So point objects do not contain any behavior. Okay, so now we have no behavior. Let's do the point main. Okay, let's check the point main. What happened into the point main? So in the point main, now you can see I want to create 2 point objects. Okay, so I call the point, so this point refer to the point.java, and then I make the first object, so it means the first row, and I want to say that the point p1 comma y is 2, and then point p2. Okay, I want to say that p2 dot x equal to 4. Okay, now as you know that the point.java contains of 2 variables x and y. Here we just define y equals to 2. What about the x? What is x? Because we have no value, then x equals to 0. We have p2. Okay, p2 give the value x. We have the value x equals to 4. What about the y? Yeah, it is 0. If you don't assign any value, then the value will be 0. If you assign a value like this one, so it means the y equals to 2. So if you want to access, you can press control. Okay, you can press control, and then the mouse will change like this one, and then if you click, then you go to the point.java. Okay. Or if you move your cursor to the point, if you click, then it will access the point.java. Okay, so please press control, and then you can do this one. Okay, if you press control like this one, x. Okay, you want to press control and x, then you can see this is the data members in the point.java. Now if I want to add the p2.x plus 2, what is p2.x? Oh, p2.x equals to 4, and then I want to add by 2, so it means it will be 6. And I have y plus plus. So what is y plus plus? I want to know the current value of y, and let's plus by 1. So the current y is 0. Okay, current y is 0 because no definition, and then it will be added by 1. Then it will be 1. Okay, so if you run this, 0, 2 for this one, and then 6, 1 for this one. Okay. So the fields, actually it can be anything. Okay, so if you for this one you learn that the fields are integer. Actually, yeah, it is the same with the variable that you usually define in your Java code. So the format will be type and name. And let's say, yeah, you have the public class student. So student is the class name, and then you want to define, for example, 2 fields or 2 data members. I have the student name. Okay, so it will be the string, and I have the GPA. Okay, so the GPA is double. And whenever you want to access the field or you want to access the data member, then you can just call the object. Okay, call the object and the field. Call the object and the field, and then mention the value. So if you have the P1, or yeah, I can say this is the variable P1, P2, it is a new object, and the variable P1, because I already declared there are 2 variables, there are 2 data members, which is x and y, so you can access it, P1.x, P1.y. Or for example here, now I'm going to assign 13 to the P2.y. So we have the point.java. Okay, we have this point.java, but actually it is not a single. Okay, it is not a single class. Okay, you need to have the main method, and the main method, it will be the client program. So if you have this one like p1 p2, so the p1, yeah, you can define like 7 and 2, so x equals to 7, y equals to 2, and then if you have p2, then the x equals to 4, y equals to 3. Okay, then it will create like this one. Okay, so this will be the first object, and yeah, this will be the first object, and this will be the second object, because it is p1 like this one and p2, and the point.java contains only the data members x and y. Be careful with the null. When you have the reference, you still remember when you have array. Okay, when you have array, you need to really careful that whenever you create an array of string, okay, it will create null. Okay, null. If it is integer, okay, what is integer? So if you have integer x, for example, then if you don't assign any value at the first time, every value will be 0. But it is different with objects. It is different with string. It is different with point. So if you have the array of string, so it is array of words. Let's say I just put 5 as the size. Okay, so it means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you create this one, when you create this stuff, then all will be null. What is the meaning by null? Null is empty. Okay, so it's not 0. It's not any value. And when you access null, it will be errors. Okay, so be careful with null. The same with the object like point. Okay, if you have point with one array and then points, this is the variable name, and let's say I have 3 point. So the object 0, object 1, object 2, yep, all the elements are null. What can you do with null? Okay, so if you have a string as null, then when you print, it will be null. If you have a variable which is like words equals to words index 2 equals to null, then it will be null. Okay, and ask whether a variable or array is null, then you can just take this one, word I equal to null. You can put null as a parameter to a method. Okay, so remember this one. And this is another thing. Okay, when you have the null, there are some kind of exception. Okay, what is the exception? When you have the null, it has the dereference, the dereference. Okay, to access data or methods of an object with dot notation such as slang. Okay, it is what we call as dereference, because I want to extract from the data. I want to extract from the array. So when it is null, it is illegal. Okay, illegal. So it's not working. It is not working if your data contains null. Okay. Null is not any object, so it has no methods or data. So if your value is null in the particular index of your array, then you cannot do anything. For example, I have string words, and then let's say the size is 5, and then I want to print this one. Okay, so the printing is may be fine, but if you want to access like word 0 to uppercase, then there will be an error. So word is null, yeah, you can see the result. But when you run this statement, word 0 to uppercase, I don't have anything inside the words, then it will be error. So null pointer exception. So be careful when you do looping. Okay, so it's very dangerous. Okay, when you do looping, there's kind of error might happen. Let's say I have strings of words and then there are 5. I only fill the index 0 and 2. Index 0 is hello and the index 2 is goodbye. I want to loop from 0 until the length. Okay, okay. If the words is not null, then change to uppercase. Okay, so with this one, it means you can do more. Okay, so when you have this kind of condition, then you can avoid the errors. And there is another way. If you want to avoid the errors, you can do the initialization. So you can initialize the object. So first you can initialize the array. Okay, so each element is initially null and initialize each element of array to be a new object. For example, I have string words and it is a new string with the size of 4. Okay, the size is 4 and I want to loop. Okay, and the loop is from 0 until the words dot length, because I know the size is 4, so it will be loop until 4. And for every words I equals to 0, so I want to measure the I want to put the word. Okay, so I want to put the word. So the word here, yeah, this is just for the initial value. Word 0, word 1, word 2, word 3. Okay, so once you have this initial value, then yeah, there's no problem. You can do with your stuff, and whenever you do with your method, then it will not go to error. Okay. Okay, I think I will stop this video here and I will continue the next section with the other video. Thank you for your attention.